What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another Hat format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your Hat format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have True Party King, who is going to be on Mythic Plant Rulers. They sent this in and said that this was a match from the Moral Attack Monthly that had taken place this past month at the time of recording this, and they were actually on my exact list. Now, the thing with my list was I did put out a deck list for this a long time ago, and then shortly after that, I put out a combo video, and I talked about some changes I would make, and I think they had said they went originally with my actual list I put out, so they were missing some of the synchros and stuff that they wish they could have played, and some of those I did mention in the combo video, but in general, just keep that in mind, and I have to try to even think back to my exact list as I watch this, but anyways, their opponent Geargia is going to be on Laval Artifact. A lot of people have actually been sending me in a lot of Laval Artifact and Laval variant replays as well, so this is just another one of those, and hopefully this will be a good match, but we will have to see. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Here, it looks like they're having a little back and forth, and True Party King is going to win the rock, paper, scissors and get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Foolish Burial, Flamevel Guard, Crane, Cherubime, and Trade-In. And on the other side, we see Compulse, Double Cyclone, Ignition, Laval Magma Cannoneer, and Laval Cannon. So, obviously, True Party King's hand is pretty solid. Having Foolish Burial plus Crane is always really good, and, you know, this deck can be a little bricky at times, but seeing that they drew the Cherubime plus the Trade-In is really solid, and they'll get a draw for turn here, getting a copy of Title, which is also really good. Here, activating Trade-In, getting rid of the Cherubime, and drawing into Soul Charge and Card Trooper, which is honestly just crazy. That means they can easily go for a very strong turn one Soul Charge play. Here, we're going to see them go Card Trooper using the effect milling Blaster, Redox, and Mythic Water Dragon. Actually just insane mills right there. And from here, let's see what they choose to do. They're going to go Foolish Burial, dumping a copy of Lonefire, and now they can just go for a really big Soul Charge play. Honestly, one of the most ideal hands this deck can really produce, besides just hard opening Lonefire in a lot of cases. And here they are going to Soul Charge for Cherubime, Blaster, Mythic Water Dragon, and a copy of Lonefire. And then here they're going to use Lonefire's effect, tributing it off, going into Lonefire, and then from there they are going to use the Lonefire again and go into a copy of Spore, Synchro Summoning into a copy of Stardust before overlaying the two level 8s into a copy of Felgran and going and just passing turn there. I feel like they potentially had some other plays they could have done in theory, depending on what they had actually chosen to do with the Foolish Burial. Though I think getting Lonefire into rotation is really strong, but also, I guess at the same time, going into the Spore is also kind of an interesting option, because at the same time, had they not gone and tried to commit into a Stardust, given, you know, they don't really care that the Card Trooper, if it gets destroyed, because they'll get a draw, and the Felgran can kind of protect itself. So at that rate, they may have wanted to potentially go into, say, a different type of play, given they had access to another one of the level 8s if they really wanted to. So they could have played out kind of a grindier game with that. But Stardust is a very solid card, and it is just in general a very safe play, so they definitely went for that, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially given they have a lot of follow-up for next turn with the Crane, as well as just all the rulers in graveyard pretty much. But here, Geargia draws into a copy of Molten Conduction Field, which is the perfect draw for them. That's definitely the card the Laval deck wants to see right away. And from here, they're going to think for a second and activate the Conduction Field, sending a copy of Handmaiden and Lakeside Lady. And then from there, they can use the Maiden to send another Laval, sending a copy of Cannon to graveyard. After that, they are going to normal summon the Lava Magma Cannoneer and just go to battle phase to do a decent bit of damage there, because True Party King is already low on life from the actual Soul Charge play there. But here the Card Trooper will get True Party King a draw, getting a copy of Debris Dragon, which is another just great card. And then from there, it looks like Geargia is going to just set 3 and over to True Party King, who gets yet another Dragon Ruler, so they are very set up right now. So definitely a lot of potential plays here. Honestly, looking at this, I mean, maybe they don't know the Laval matchup too much. If you're expecting that they have the trap that just kind of banishes all the Lavals and then pops that many cards, I feel you don't care that much, again, because you can make the Felgran unaffected, as well as the Stardust can just negate in general, and you have a lot of gas. As I mentioned previously, the Crane is a very strong normal summon, as is the Debris Dragon, and you just have access to, what is that, almost all the rulers. Actually, they do have access to all the rulers and lots of different attributes to go for there. So if anything, they might just go for like a Crane play, for example, and then try to special out some of these rulers and just push for a lot of damage, and then main phase 2 go for whatever. But if they are afraid of this back row, there are definitely a lot of more defensive plays, but these are very strong cards into back row in a lot of cases. And so we are going to see that Crane summon using the effect, and here Geargia is going to take a second to think. The Card Trooper is going to be summoned. After that, are we going to see the effect? We are sending 2 copies of Upstart and a Breakthrough Skill. So Breakthrough Skill Engrave is pretty good, and getting rid of those Upstarts that you don't really care about at the moment is also, not the worst. I'm sure they would have liked to see some other names, though. Here, having the 2 Earths and going into a Melee of the Trees, such a good card. And here Geargia is thinking, flipping. Oh, it looks like they misclicked. Very unfortunate. And instead, we are going to see that copy of Compulse bouncing the Melee of the Trees. And from there, it looks like Redox is going to activate, banishing the Crane and Card Trooper, summoning itself out. And then from there, the Blaster is going to banish 2 Lone Fires to bring itself out, overlaying into a copy of Dracosac, using the effect and making 2 tokens there. And oh, they're choosing to use the Dracosac. Pretty interesting. Oh, and they're hitting the back row. Okay, so in this situation, I think that's a little risky, given they accidentally flipped the double Cyclone. At that rate, you could kind of assume that they're probably on artifacts, because the only decks really playing double Cyclone are going to be artifact decks. Like, even the Cyber Dragon artifact deck is an artifact deck, even though they're using double Cyclone as well to hit their copies of the network and stuff. So it's almost a little risky to go for that, unless they were thinking that maybe it was a Sanctum and they don't really care about it at that rate. But here, hitting the Ignition is actually a pretty rough situation, because this is going to, skip your opponent's next battle phase. So that is something to keep in mind. If anything, they might have had a better chance just going and hitting the Cannoneer here, and again, just pushing in for a lot of damage by, say, summoning another ruler. But let's keep going here. Yep, the Ignition is going to trigger. And I think they're just checking. I think we're trying to figure out which battle phase it's going to skip. It says your opponent skips the battle phase, their next battle phase. So I would assume that they are trying to skip this one. Here is what they were discussing. Here, Geargia gets a copy of Moral Tack. Again, it's all right to see this when you have double Cyclone, but given True Party King isn't playing a lot of back row, this is kind of a dead card right now. And so let's see what happens. Here they are going to summon the Laval Cannon, and they have no banished Lavals, unfortunately, so not much they can do there. But they are going to go to battle phase and just run over the token here before going to main phase 2, going for an Exciton, trying to clear everything. But again, the Stardust can negate and destroy that, as well as if they had really wanted to, they could just Felgran and negate the copy of Exciton there as well. After that, Geargia is going to set that Moral Attack and back over to True Party King. Well, in the end phase, Stardust comes back and then back over to them. And here they are going to get another Mythic Water Dragon. The Dracosac is going to detach, getting 2 tokens. From here, using the effect yet again. I think it's very risky to keep using this Dracosac into all of this, because, like, imagine they hit another Ignition there. They aren't able to really finish the game, and they have such a defensive board. Like, this can't be destroyed by battle or card effects while it has token on board. The Stardust is good protection. Same with the copy of Felgran. I keep saying it, but it is something to keep in mind. I'm trying to, like, play it out as if it's a regular thing. I believe they mentioned this might have been their first H.A.T tournament in a long time. So again, no hate towards them. Just saying that, they were slightly more protected. Maybe they didn't have all the ideas in mind at the time, But you're just going for the safe play, trying to clear everything out before going in for a big push. Hitting that Moral Attack, though, Moral Attack can then summon, and they are not choosing to use the effect because they want to keep a blocker, because if not, the Stardust can just negate and destroy it. Here, summoning the copy of Flameveil Guard, and then going for a Synchro 4. Keep in mind the Draco Sack token is a level 3. Going for Armory Arm is a crazy card here, equipping to the Felgrand, banishing 2 fires for the Blaster, banishing 2 for the Tempest, and Geargia knows that True Party King is kind of just BMing them a little bit there, and they didn't have anything they can do. So moving on into game number 2, Geargia will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Spore, Debris Dragon, 1-for-1, Soul Charge, and Card Trooper. And on the other side, we see Laval Cannon, Rhoda, Dust Flame Blast. This is the Laval card I was talking about before. Traptrix Mermail, and Artifact Moral Attack. So I guess they are also on the Traptrix as well in this deck. Here, Geargia will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Debunk, very strong card against any of the ruler decks, but they are going to start their turn by normal summoning Mermail, using the effect and getting a copy of Traptrix Traphole Nightmare. After that, activating Rhoda, getting a copy of Laval Cannon. From there, just setting, was that 4 back row, or 3 back row, and the Moral Attack, which I guess is counting as a back row regardless. Here, True Party King gets a copy of Gold Sark, which is a pretty solid draw. Activating 1-for-1, getting rid of the Spore, and summoning a copy of Flameveil Guard. After that, they are going to normal summon the Card Trooper. Geargia says it's good, using the effect to mill 3, hitting a Breakthrough Skill, Lone Fire, Upstart, and... oh wait, just 3, right. And now that Soul Charge is looking pretty tempting here, and they are going to go for it, going and bringing back the Lone Fire Blossom and the Spore. Now they do have to be a little bit careful here, though, because we do know that Geargia has the Traptrix Traphole Nightmare, and so here they are going to go and tribute the Lone Fire here, and it looks like, yep, they are activating that. After that, going for the Gold Sark, and banishing Tidal, so then Tidal will trigger adding a copy of Mythic Water Dragon. From here, it looks like they are going to Synchro for a 4, and after that, it looks like they're attempting to use Spore, banishing the Lone Fire, but Debunk is going to activate, banishing the Spore as well. And at this rate, maybe they should have special summoned this while they still had the Card Trooper if they were going to try to go for a play with that. But at the same time, it's kind of hard what they would have gone for. And yeah, the Dust Flame Blast isn't live. I guess they didn't know about the debunk, so that could have been a problem as well. But anyways, over to Geargia, who gets another copy of Mermail. They're gonna normal summon it and add a copy of Deep Dark Traphole. And after that, overlaying into a copy of 101, taking the copy of Armory Arm, and now it's not looking great for True Party King, going to battle phase, running over the Flameveil Guard before setting that Deep Dark Traphole, and back over to True Party King, who gets a copy of Crane. So they do have the Card Trooper, so that's not bad at all, though they did unfortunately lose out on their Lone Fire, which would have been really strong here. And so let's see what they're choosing to do. Summon Debris Dragon, using the effect to bring back Card Trooper, so probably going for a Black Rose play here, using the Card Trooper, even though it is negated off of the Debris Dragon, they can still mill for cost, and here hitting an Upstart, Tempest, and Mythic Water Dragon. Usually when I side in this deck, I do side out Upstarts a lot of the time. You can kind of keep it in for consistency's sake, but usually it is a very easy side out, at least in my opinion. But anyways, here it looks like they are going to go for a copy of Black Rose using the effect, and the Deep Dark wasn't going to do much there. The 101 is going to protect itself, and the Moral Attack will be able to summon itself back out using its effect and popping the Black Rose here. After that, they are going to banish 2 for the Tempest and be able to walk over that Moral Attack. And so now it's not looking too bad for True Party King, who will also get their copy of Tidal back next turn, as well as, again, still having that Crane. Here, Geargia draws for turn, getting a copy of Ignition. Not really the greatest card. Again, with this Mythic plant deck, they don't really play that much back row, so, you know, it is kind of few and far between when they can actually go and use the Ignitions and double Cyclones and stuff. So here in the end phase, this Tempest will return back to True Party King's hand, and here they draw into a copy of Card Trooper. the title is added back, and now they can kind of just start going off, normal summoning the copy of Crane, bringing back the Card Trooper using the effect, milling a Crane breakthrough skill and Lance. After that, overlaying into a copy of Levier to get back their copy of Lonefire, I'd assume, which is exactly what they're doing, using the effect, going into another Lonefire into Cheerbime, which again has a really strong effect here. They're just going to use it because it is an Earth to be able to summon the Mythic Water Dragon, and then presumably going to, here into Alce. Okay, using the effect, calling Exodia just to send the top card, which is a copy of Titanial, which is kind of cool in a lot of cases. And then they can use the effect of Alce that says, let me just find it. If a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can detach a material from this card, target one card on the field, place that target on either the top or bottom of the deck. So here they are going to use that effect, and they are going to put it on the top of the deck, and they are detaching the Mythic Water Dragon there. After that, going for the title, banishing two more for the copy of Tempest there, which here they got rid of a wind monster for the Tempest. That's how they were able to go for it. And after that, this is just a lot of damage. So just attacking in with everything, and that is the end of the game. So honestly, for a second there, I definitely thought that Yu-Gi-Oh was going to have that game too, but True Party King was able to, play that very well in that second game and, make that big push. So really impressive showing from this player and, from this deck as a whole. It's a really cool deck. I wish more people would explore with it, but in general, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays, whether you won or lost. If you thought the deck you or your opponent played was pretty cool, feel free to send that in. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see it. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.